My name's Alex, and I've been living in Taranaki now for 7 years. Living in a rural property with my partner, Aileen.
Hi, I am from Chile, and I've been living here, in New Zealand for 8 years. Just recently become a citizen, feeling very happy for that. And we got 2 beautiful girls, Ranui and Orali. They're 4.5 and 2 and a bit. And we live in the Sun Nest in a beautiful area in outside of New Plymouth, close to before Okato, between Okato and Oakura. I've been fixing a lot of clothes. I got the beautiful tailor down the road, and she just fixed all the old clothes. So then a little thing that was going to be tucked away for a long time now is going to be out and running for next 10 years, So I think those little things, they're little, but they conscious living, I believe, for the good of everybody and everything, and the land and the people and the Pachamama, how we will say in our, back in my country, for the earth. And I talked to somebody today, and she said something very special when I asked her what is sustainability for you, and she said it's not making any harm. So how can we live in a spiritual, loving way that we're not harming others? We are contributing and we're being part of the community in a very sustainable, sharing, loving way. The mountain is very special, very, very special for my heart. I think she's giving us lots of strength, like she's always there standing, even if you can't see it for 13 days sometimes, but she's always there. And I feel the mountain talk to me a little bit, when I'm feeling down or something, I just look at her and it's like wow, that's so much power and respect for the mountain, and knowing this, all this Maori secret there, and very sacred and special place, and very holy, and very lucky to just have the mountain there.
Yeah, it's never far from your thoughts, and never far from your daily life as you're going about your daily business. It's just there, It's like comforting to have this such a strong and comforting and familiar kind of person, almost overlooking you throughout your day and throughout your life. It's just like a constant that's always there, and it's just so strong. And I think sometimes the care that is given to the mountain is sometimes a bit misguided. I think probably the hearts are sometimes in the right place, but the way that the powers that be go about it is maybe the wrong way, or is not an enlightened way of dealing with certain problems.
I did a Maori course last year, so through the years I've been getting closer to it. But one of the things I learned is when you go up the mountain, you should do a karakia, so then the mountain will open to you and will accept you, and you will be safe and everything will be okay. So it will be nice for many people to know that, and to get that knowledge that is so secret and sacred, and important to have a safe journey up the mountain, really.
The river that we have running past our property, it looks nice, and we've swam in it in the past, but then last year it had E. coli in there, so you sort of think, wow, that beautiful clean river that runs past us, that's going through this beautiful land, is not as clean as you think it would be or should be. So I think there's something amiss there if the rivers are becoming polluted to that extent. And this is the rivers that people have recreation in. People swim and fish, so I think we need to definitely look after our water to a greater level.
I think by teaching our children how to look after the water, turning the taps down, don't flush the toilet every time you go, like being more conscious about that is really something precious, and is close the tap while you're brushing your teeth and start little by little. And I think preschoolers and schools are very important. We should, every time we get in contact with water, to bless the water and say how important the water is for us, because we got lots of water in our body too, and liquids are part of our daily life, really. And I always say that the tears are very special because they help us to clear ourselves and cleanse ourselves. So by saying thank you to the water for being there for us, I think she can feel, or she can sense, that we are grateful, and somehow that energy is an energy. If everybody does it, the energy of the water will be a better energy, and in a way it might take longer to get, it might not get to be contaminated water if we do it that way. And there's been some studies about that. So yeah.
The ocean is definitely changing. Even just the colour of the water, after you see a rain or whatever, you see the amount of sand and silt and rubbish, and well, not so much plastic or that kind of rubbish, but there's just a lot of runoff from the farms, a lot of brown water, a lot of the water sometimes smells when you're in there, after rain. So yeah, with the changing climate and that kind of thing, if we don't look after the sea, we don't look after the places that we hold as sacred to us, yeah, we're heading for problems. Yeah, the natural water course that we have there, on a small scale for our power needs. I think hydro is a definite possibility. Yeah, and that's the thing. There is a lot of water courses that run, almost everywhere there's water. So hydro is a resource that's a constant. Well, for now, that can be utilised, and same again. The initial setup of it, as far as equipment that you need for a home hydro system, it's very energy efficient as far as the amount of resources that are utilised to create a system, and it's a pretty robust system, and it's quite a constant system. So yeah, I think for personal use and for people, rural areas, urban areas, in Taranaki anyway, I think I think hydro system is a good system. Any community, diversity leads to strength. So yeah, if you look at the landscape of Taranaki at the moment, you look at the fields, you go outside of the cities, it's a pretty bleak looking place, really, although it's seen to be productive, and that's the way it needs to look for the practices of farming, etc. It's not a strong system, as you see, now with the problems we're having. We're not even at the start of summer at the moment. Spring's only just finished, and already we're talking about drought. So to have a system that is so dependent on something that's outside of your hands is not a strong system. So if they had more diversity within planting, and more diversity within the farming practices, instead of creating this kind of mono system, where they're just reliant on outside inputs. There's lots of ways, like the holding the moisture in the ground, it all comes back to what we were saying about the water with the surfing, looking after the rivers, looking after the water. It all ties back to that, you know. If there was more planting of native species and more planting of, you know, just trees and riparian planting, that would go a long way to help the farming systems to begin with, to retain the moisture in the fields rather than it just running straight off, taking all the waste with it into the rivers, into the sea. So yeah, planting of native species to create that diversity, to create the strength in the system with the animals, the insects, the creatures. It just makes a thriving environment for all the animals, the plants, the people, you know. It just makes a strong system. It makes areas of beauty that you can draw on for your spiritual well-being, for your you know, for your children to be able to play, you know, by creating places of native forest. It goes a long way to solve a lot of problems. How long do you think you'll be able to carry on in this way? You know, because it's not a long-term view, you know, of the farming practice at the moment. The farmers know that they're using the synthetic fertilizers, etc., which, you know, really the ground that they're feeding into is almost inert now. You know, they've taken all the goodness from the soil, and the only goodness they're getting is being imported in. You know, and the cost of these things that are putting out is going up through the roof. You know, the resources are costing them more and more. You know, the poisoning the land with the things that they're putting on there. They're creating this kind of, not monoculture, but they're creating a system that is so weak, you know, that even just through lack of rain, you know, it can have such an impact on their industry. You know, the cows aren't able to milk, they get disease, and you know, so yeah, I think farmers are starting to look around. So yeah, that's what I would say. Ask the farmers, how long do you think you'll be able to carry on in this manner for?
How can you take the calves away from the cows without? I don't know how you feel about it, but I think that's pretty strong when I really realized that that's what the case they do, and then the cows produce milk, and the milk, that's the milk we can have.
I think it's just society in general at the moment is think of today and not think about the future. I don't think it's, you know, with peak oil and, you know, the way that the whole energy industry is like a race at the moment. See who can get there first, see who can get there fastest, you know, see who can do it for cheapest, you know, to extract the resources. But I think the resources that we have at the moment, I think we should be utilising them to cater for the future rather than just burning them off and, you know, using them on vehicles. And, you know, like, it is a resource that we have there, and it should be utilised now to create renewables for the future. Yeah, that's my view. Yeah.
Mm. And also you can see how the Mother Earth is complaining. Like Chile had those miners a couple of months ago, now in the South Island, a few weeks ago, and it's like, he's saying no, you know, he's saying stop it, I don't like it. So yeah, not sustainable at all, and I think we should stop it and find other ways of making money, really, you know, and other ways of stopping being so selfish and looking after our needs and their needs of having more money on the pocket or whatever. That I don't really understand much, but it's like, let's look after our earth, because if she's not here, we won't be able to be here, and we'll all be dead soon, you know, if that's the case, if we keep abusing her so much, really.